husband is the photographer, and this is his son. So the father-son relationship is also in here.
That's really cool.
Yeah, even here is that she is male to the house, so not limiting ourselves to the male narration.
Yeah. That's cool.
At the end of the hallway, this is the corpus. We call it the corpus. It is a joint project from the theology and the art program. It is made by dust collected from the undergraduate dormitory. So it's a cool idea. It is kind of gross if you look at it closely, but I really love all kinds of integration you can make from this design. He is from the dust, and he served us and lowered himself, and we are going to become dust one day.
Sorry. Do you have like nursing programs and stuff or no?
Not in the grad program.
Oh, okay.
Are you interested in nursing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought about it.
You did?
But I can't look at needles. I cannot.
Oh, really?
So I thought,
Yeah.
not for me.
That's fair.
So are the majority of the classes in this building?
Yes.
Okay.
Almost all your classes.
Okay.
You're living here and you're sleeping here and you're eating here.
Love that.
Offices and big rooms for special occasions, so there is not much to look at. Sometimes we do interviews, or in our program, I don't know if I told you about it, there's something called Pi Day. Okay, I'll tell you more about it later. And something called Pre-Pi Day, and Pre-Pi Day is always on the 14th. So here's the third floor. It's for the School of Mission Ministry and Leadership, and so the difference between theology and this is I like to think of this as applied theology, so they do more practical stuff. And this is their library. It's a small sub-branch of our basketball library. The main building is on the other side of campus, and we're gonna go there later in the tour. So as a psych student, I never really used this space, but it is available. All those study space and the office at the back are available to everybody. The nice thing about having a branch here is that it comes with a book return box. So if you have a book and you want to return, you don't need to go all the way to the library. It's available to you in your building. That's a trick I didn't know until about a year later.
Sorry.
A year after I started, so that's good information. The second. So, did Kim told you about the Billy Graham Scholarship at all? So, our Billy Graham Scholarship, you can take this. I'm not sure if it's included in your folder. It is 100% tuition coverage for all of our MA program. The requirement, though, is that you are planning to do full-time mission work after graduation for 4 years. There are different categories. Some allows you to stay in the US, some requires you to go overseas. So you can look at that. There is an email there somewhere for April, and apparently she's not in the office today. For the counseling program, because we do have some licensure requirement, and that takes some time after graduation. From what I heard, they are pretty flexible with that. You can push that 4 years till after you get fully licensed.
Okay.
So yeah, that's just easier. corner here is our TESOL program. TESOL stands for Teaching English as Second Language. They are a residential, hybrid, and online program, so that's why their space is small because a lot of students are zooming in everywhere. But the nice place about this is they have this little thing section. In grad school, you know, you learn about all the grand abstract stuff when you look for college, but you know, when you actually start grad school, it is those small things that makes a difference.
Wait, so this is just the graduate school?
This is a grad school building, but a lot of undergrad take class in here.
Oh, okay.
Why?
I didn't know there's like separate schools for like undergrads and grads.
Oh yeah, I mean they use this building all the time.
Oh, okay. Just curious.
So I don't remember exactly which one. I think it's that one. It's our chaplain's office. So on campus there are a few offices that provide confidential service. One is the chaplain's office, and the health center and the counseling center. So the counseling center and the health center also are at the end of the college. I'll also show you our tour. This little area here is our student lounge area. So it's an open space again for everyone. We have a kitchen there. We have a fridge, 2 microwaves, and random stuff like student will just leave food in there for everyone to take. A lot of mugs and a place for you to wash your stuff. For the counseling program, because of the internship in the second year, so our class are structured in a way that you only take class on Mondays and Wednesdays, and that would be a whole day. So most of the time I come in around 8 or 9, and then I leave around like 3 to 4 or sometimes 5. So a lot of people just put their food in the fridge, heat it up during lunchtime, and go back to class afterwards. It is spring break, so a lot of offices are closed. These 2 offices are grad student life. They are kind of just like the everyday office. At least that's how I use them. Whenever there's a question that can't be answered by any specific department, I just poke my head in and like, I have a question.
Yeah.
They also host something called a civil rights tour. Did Kim told you about that? Okay, so it is a newer thing. I think it started 2 years ago.
Okay.
It is like over the weekend, maybe you need to take the Friday off too. It's a road trip, and they visit a lot of, well, I'm a foreigner, so I don't really know all those spots, but it's this whole tour talks about like social justice issue and racial issues. They really go all over the country, and from what I heard, it is pretty transformational. In the counseling CMHC program, there is this professor, Dr. Baraka. She is very, very, very passionate about this project. So at least for the past 2 years, she has arranged scholarship for the CMHC student. So as a CMHC student, you can do that for free.
Oh,
Thanks. And this is the financial aid office. Tristan is our financial aid person, so if you need to take out student loans, she's the person to ask. And registrar office was back there. They did just move across the campus, but the good thing about the CMHC program is your curriculum is pretty much set. There are like a few classes maybe you can move around, mostly trauma certificate and the elective. Actually, maybe I think the elective is also settled now. So you really don't need a lot of help from the registrar. But they're available via email too. And then just random empty space lying around. The room right there is the CFM room. CFM is Christian Formation and Ministry. They are an undergrad department, but somehow they just have a space in the grad school, and they are not here, so we just use their space. It's a pretty nice room. Here is the prayer room. It has no specific purpose at all. It's just a private space for students to process whatever they need. Like it's always unlocked. If it's if the door is closed, that means someone is in there.
Yeah.
So I noticed that our campus or all college campus don't really have a space for students to like break down and cry.
Yeah.
Especially if you live on campus and you live with a roommate.
Yeah.
So even for my clients, I work in a counseling center. That's my internship. Even with my clients, sometimes I tell them like, hey, there is a space there in the grad school building if you ever wanna like have a space to yourself. Here is our mezzanine floor. Mezzanine is our psychology floor. So all my professors' offices are here. And I take class in this. Apparently someone was having fun here too. Where's Spring? Wait. He's okay. Okay. Yeah, you see that from time to time. It's fun. So, that office over there is Dr. Che's office. Dr. Che is the program director of the counseling program. Yeah. And all the posters you see on the wall are mostly done by our students and faculties from our doctoral programs, so the PhD and the PsyD. However, as a master level student, if you want to do research, it's totally welcomed. I actually have done a poster and presented in one of the conferences, the counseling conferences, and I'm currently doing my second one that will be presented by the end of this month too. So one thing I like to tell the students are, this is a program that's designed for people who want to be licensed in the future. You can go through it and become a therapist at a private practice. That's totally doable. But if you want to develop any specialty at all or do anything that kind of auto curriculum, you can always find someone to help you.
Okay.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite part about this program. So, I have the bulletin box here. And just an overview for our faculties. This is Dr. Che, the office I just pointed out. This is Dr. Baraka. She teaches multiculturalism, assessment, research, and other stuff. This is Dr. Tammy. I probably like her a little bit too much. Everyone knows about that. So she teaches skills, ethics, and she's a person for the trauma certificate. Oh, and then she teaches intro to trauma. Yep. And she's also the clinical training person. So when you start internship and everything in the second year, she will be the pointer person for that. Dr. Wilson just came back from sabbatical, and she is right now teaching a few classes for the first years, and she's a supervisor for the second year. So everyone in their internship will have a supervisor at their side, but also a faculty supervisor here. So I'm not sure exactly what Dr. Watson do because I'm not in her supervision group, but from what I heard, she is amazing. So if we just, this is Dr. Kataki. She is currently a faculty, but she might not be here anymore when you start. So just want to point it out, Dr. Che is from Korea, Dr. Kitaki is from Kenya, Dr. Tammy is from Canada, and Dr. Baraka is, well, American. I'm not sure about Dr. Watson, haven't had her. So just want to point out that we do have a very diverse faculty team. Even Dr. Baraka, when I went to her house for the first time, I told her, like, Dr. Brock, you have more stuff from China than I ever own, and I think that's very concerning. So yeah, just want to point that out.
Yeah, that's cool.
This is our small library here. So The psychology department has their own small library. Sometimes you can find textbook in here is mostly clinical books, like more clinical than the ones in Boswell. There are also a lot of assessment in there. When you take assessment class, which is taught by Dr. Baraka, you'll probably need that even just for your homework assignment. It's just really cool to be able to borrow back like $1,000 worth of assessment, and for sure need to protect it well. Okay, so here is a map of our internship and practicum placement. So in our 2 master level counseling program, MFT, marriage and family therapy, and clinical counseling, we all start internship by our 2nd year. I think MFT might start slightly earlier, and then for this P is for PhD and PsyD, and they also start from their 2nd year. So as you can see, Wheaton is here, and it's between a true city and a true suburb. So the idea is either like whatever you prefer, to what kind of setting you want to work in, you can always find a site there. And the Pi Day thing I was talking about, Pi stands for, I don't remember. But on Pi Day, most of the sites that want to recruit Wheaton College student will come on campus, and we'll have this large like job fair kind of thing where everyone dress up and you just like share resumes and ask for information you can't find on their website. So a lot of people set up interview with their sites after that day. So that happens in the December of your 1st semester, so right before finals week.
Okay.
And in this program, you don't really have a lot of finals. You mostly do papers. So that's not like a huge stressor. What else do I want to mention about? Oh, so in the counseling program, we have a practicum and an internship. You can, and most people do both at the same site. It's just less paperwork, and for some site it requires like a year-long commitment. But if you are like me, who at the time, I didn't really know what kind of environment I want to work in and what kind of position I want to work in, I did 2 sites. So in the summer I was in a hospital, and then during the school year I'm in the counseling center on campus. So very different environment, and really helped me to understand myself as a clinician and what kind of environment is beneficial to me.
Okay.
Yeah. The whole like applying to internship and practicum is stressful. Everyone freaks out and thinks they won't have a site, but everyone has a site.
That's what Kim said.
Yes, and our professors will definitely help in the process with like interviewing, with preparing resumes, and even if worst case scenario we can't find a site, then they'll step in and like, use their personal connections.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
And the last thing, the map over here is for PhD and PsyD people. So in the 5th year, last year of their program, by that time they already finished all the thesis and classes. They will be placed for a full year, like a residential program, and that's the last step of their degree. So they're matched all over the country, and this is just a map that shows their placement.
Nice.
Okay. So is there any reason that you chose CMHC over MFT, or have you thought about the difference?
I really haven't thought about the difference. I just don't think I want to do like family and like therapy. I really want to work with kids.
Okay.
So that is like my driving force.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I just really think about wanting to work with family.
Okay, yeah. In that case, did Kim tell you about our play therapy specialization?
He did mention it, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I know right now it's only 1 class, but I know Dr. Baraka is pushing really hard to develop that into a certificate. So
Okay.
similar to trauma certificate, but
Right.
play therapy.
Wait, so this is an undergrad and graduate school?
Yeah.
Yes, fair.
Or both undergrad and grad people take class in here.
Oh, okay. Okay. I just want to reiterate.
It sounds very important to you that undergrad also are taking up space.
Yeah.
Needs to know the difference.
I do though.
Yeah, I run into my clients all the time in here. And it's some very special training. I definitely did not expect it when I signed up for the counseling center. But it's good training. You know, at the times when I was somehow walking without a shoe, you know, I gotta learn how to deal with my clients in those moments.
And so that's your internship, right? Do you get paid for that, or is it?
Yeah.
Most sites don't pay.
Okay.
There are a few sites. I know one site for the summer and a private practice that pays. They are pretty popular just because they pay.
Yeah.
But it's definitely something to try
Okay.
if that's important to you.
Okay.
A reality of this program is because this is a 2-year program, most counseling programs are 3 years or 4.5 years. So that means it's pretty intense. And especially in the second year, you are working at your internship site. That's about 25 hours a week. And then you are taking class full time. You don't really have a lot of time to do a lot of things. Like you can still probably pick up a few hours to work, especially if it's on campus, and that's easier to schedule. But a lot of people will like work longer hours in the first year just to try to have a larger number in their savings, and the second year just to try to live on that. But you do graduate like a year earlier. So if we're gonna do the math, I think it's still a good choice.
So most of the grad students spend a lot of time in Billy Graham.
Yeah.
Is there a time where they do
Well, there is chapel. Chapel is the graduate school used to have their own chapel, but a year ago they combined the undergrad and grad chapel. It is voluntary for grad students. It is mandatory for undergrads. It is once a week on Wednesday mornings, 11:30 to 12:30. They do try to make it more appealing by giving you free lunch tickets if you go. So if you go to chapel, you get a free meal ticket and you can go to the cafeteria. So that's also that direction. For me, I live in that direction. I live almost right off campus over there. So I do kind of see this, walk through this campus every single day. And then the content center goes there, so all over. So that's why I keep
So besides chapel, do they like offer like church services on Sundays or?
There is a church right over there, just across the street. It is called College Church, but it has no direct connection to the college. I think they used to, that's why they got the name, but not anymore.
Okay.
Interesting.
ventured. This is the oldest building on campus. So at one point, this is the only building Wheaton College has. And it was the office, it was a classroom, dormitory, gym, cafeteria.
Oh, wow.
I'm so sad it's not that anymore because I would love to live in a building like this. So right now it's mostly undergrad classrooms. We have 2 graduate programs in there. Both are educational degrees. And then also the tech department, the HR, and some random staff are in there. The president's office in there. It is a registered stop of the Underground Railroad. So that's a fun fact.
Oh,
That's
that's
really
nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. And if you like Google Wheaton College, that's the building you're gonna see on
Okay.
the pictures.
Yeah, the architecture is like really nice.
Old.
Victorian,
Yeah, antique.
kind of plantation, especially with the columns.
Right.
Oh, that's kind of nice.
That's nice.
There are a few buildings that kind of stands out. I think mostly Amazon, the music building. My roommate used to say like Wheaton College campus buildings look like the person just can't make up their mind of the vibe they're
Yeah.
going for.
That's
Like,
weird.
I can see that. So that building there is chapel.
Okay.
So you're gonna see something?
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, did you do your undergrad here?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Where did you do?
In China.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, my undergrad degree is also in English. Like it's not even relevant to psychology.
Yeah.
But you'll see that a lot in the counseling program. We all come from very diverse background, and that really helps with class discussion because you will hear people say, "Oh, when I was a teacher, I noticed this." I think it's a very interesting thing.
So are your classes more discussion based or is like lecture and outcome?
Yeah.
Kind of depends.
I think mostly discussion based.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many credit hours?
60 to graduate. And then if you do
Ah.
trauma certificate, that would be 63.
Okay.
So you get to build your own schedule.
It's
Yeah.
mostly set.
Oh.
You
Oh.
can,
That's kind of, that's nice.
yeah, it is. I mean, I like that
I like it. I would like it.
because, like, my roommates are biblical exegesis and divinity. She goes to a different college. We don't have a divinity program here. And they always talk about like, oh, I need you to like log in at this time to get this class,
Right.
and I worry I can't graduate on time.
Yeah.
Like, oh. So here is our library. Here's spring break, so well,
That's
you
nice.
can't see anyone here. So this library has 3 floors. The main floor is this one, and then lower and upper. Most psychology books are in the lower level, so I'll just go down there and it's almost everything now. Over there is something they call either a reference room or resource room. It's mostly used by sociology people. My room is going there all the time. There has like references, commentary she needs for her homework. And that was that we don't do the research class. Again, spring break, no one's there. Normally there is always either a faculty or a doctoral level student there to help with any research need. In our program, we do have a research class, and then if you have give you more interest and do more research and I'll give you a resource. All the study space are open to anyone. You can reserve it, but if you don't reserve it, no one can pick you up. As a graduate student, you can borrow up to 100 books at a time. I've never reached that limit.
I didn't realize there was a limit.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think you would need 100% of them. For at least 21 days. Most books you can renew it like 3-4 times, so a few months. We also have like a system where we partner up with other college libraries, and if there's a book you want and you can't find it here and you find it somewhere else, they mail it in for you. And then after you're done, you just return it from here. So it's pretty convenient. There is also the Wheaton Public Library. I have zero sense of direction, so a block somewhere from here. It has a surprisingly good psychology section. Sometimes I can't find a book here and I can find it there. It's really surprising. And the nice thing to have that is this library, just like everything else on campus, is closed on Sunday. And while it's good to have a Sabbath, sometimes your assignment don't allow that. Then you can go to the public library in the afternoon. They're only open in the afternoon.
Cool.
Can you go check out any type of books or if you just you want to read just a plan? Okay. Anything I have. What do you mean different?
Like a lot of different options, like that we can possibly live in next to campus.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
So I live in a basement of like a big house, and there is another family living in a main house. I know there is a house in my direction, it's even closer to campus than my house. They have about like 9 students living in there, and the landlord consistently rents that house to graduate students, and the rent is so cheap. It's like less than $400. So that is one of the rare cheap, like very cheap resources around. This building here is called Armadine. This is the music building. They are only undergrad because we don't have a grad music building. However, it is still open to everyone, so there are a lot of pianos in there and practice rooms. So if you're musical, that's open to you. There's also, I like to point out that massage chair on the 3rd floor. It's open to everyone. I know it's not everyone knows about that, so I just think it's important to know.
Is there a requirement to live on campus?
No, not for grad students.
But for undergrad, you have to.
I think the first year.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not exactly sure how that works. Because when I ask my clients, like, are you planning to move out on campus sometime? They'll tell me no. So I guess they like living on campus. Are there like organizations in like clubs you can do? Yes.
Okay.
I'll say those are mostly undergrads. There are, I heard a few or 1 or 2 grad student clubs. It's just, I feel like at least here people like find their own social groups. Yeah, but if you want to join, I know like a friend who are in the gospel choir, and that's predominantly undergrad.
Okay.
The program itself though is a very close community because you take class together, and in a counseling program, eventually we all know each other's trauma, so you grow really, really close.
That's what Claire said. Like you said, 29
Before going in there, just pointing out the counseling center and the health center. It's right there in that building. So as a graduate student, there is something called a wellness fee. You can choose to opt in or not. They are trying to kind of tamper with that. But it's gonna be around $130 or $140 a year. And if you choose to opt in that fee, you can see a nurse for free and the doctor for about $20 at the health center. And then if you again choose to opt in that fee, the counseling center is gonna be free to you. If you don't, then I'm not sure about the health center, but the counseling center is the first 3 sessions are $10, and then 3 to 6 are $20, and then 30, and then 60, and it stays at 60, which is a pretty standard sliding scale fee in the area. In our program, though, we are required to do something called a personal PGD, personal growth and development, before you start your practicum. That is a requirement, and the program will provide a list of referrals, like therapists in the area who are willing to do that at a reduced rate. The intention behind that is not everyone who comes into the program has personal experience as a client in therapy, and we think it is extremely important for all students to experience that before we start to be on the other side.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The health center?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I do remember the first time I went in, they asked me like, what kind of insurance do you have? So I'm assuming they asked me. I'm an international student, so all that is like included in my. It's all free. It's all included in your tuition. If a student have like family and spouse, then that's free for them as well. Every student has like 5 guest tickets every year, so you can bring in people. But in reality, just bring in people. Don't tell anyone, but just bring in people. So we have a pool over here. They're not open all the time. They have their own hours, but it's reasonable hour. The power room there. Just by leaving your student ID and sign a waiver, and you can, just take it. You know whether it's meant to do that. Yeah.
That's cool.
Also, side note, the job at that front desk is probably the easiest on campus. They don't look amazing on resume, but if you're looking for some easy money, that's the place to be. So in the admission office, like that's my job. You can work as a teaching assistant or research assistant for professors, and also that's a really good opportunity to network and to just know a professor better. I really appreciated that I got to experience that. There are other, like in the Pilgrim Museum, there is a front desk job. It's just like random stuff everywhere. There is this website handshake. You can use to look for part-time jobs, and also the fish review I told you about. Sometimes
not very common, but sometimes jobs are posted in there that don't show about my job applications. And sometimes just like word of mouth. Oh, and some cafe in there. I have this classmate, I don't recommend it, but I have this classmate who worked 40 hours every week in her first year.
Oh.
They had a special situation, but still,
Yeah.
like, she did not die. It's doable.
Yeah.
And then here is the student center, it's called Top Beaver Student Center. Are you familiar with the person Top Beaver? No. So Top Beaver is one of the passengers on every flight. I want to say flight 93 or 90 something on 9/11.
Okay.
And another one that crashed into the tower, but the other one, he is one of the heroes that try to, and he succeed in taking back the control from the terrorists. So people are guessing like, if that didn't happen, that plane might have crashed into the White House, but it ended up crashing into like the outside of the building. So that saved a lot of lives. Oh yeah, he is on them.
Okay.
Oh, that's cool. This is nice.
So the student center here, I personally don't use this space a lot. I used one of the rooms over there for my therapy group. In your internship, it's required that you have at least one group hour. I have probably way too much. But that's where I did my group. It's really cool to see the change through that perspective, not just individual. It's definitely a different experience. Here is Sam's Cafe. So they're like close and red. Pastry, coffee, milkshake. Just have to pick up. That group here is called Stoop. They offer this meal package from like appetizer to dessert for $5 to students. Yeah, so really good deal. They've been closed for a while during COVID. So I think they opened up like last semester. So I haven't tried it, but whenever it's like not serving meal, it's also like open to students to study.
All right, one meal, you are all set.
And from time to time, there will be seminars or panels, talks happening like in those rooms over there. And yeah, and you'll see that everyone.
So, like, are there dining halls?
Yes.
This is this one.
Yeah, on the
Okay.
second floor.
Ah, okay.
So yeah, so this place is called Bon Appetit. It is consistently ranked in top few in the whole country. It is decent and healthy food.
It's
It's not like amazing, but it's decent. Sometimes, I mean, I've eaten here quite a few times. It is, you don't need a meal plan to eat here. You can just pay for the meal. For a student, the full price is $13. So it is sort of expensive. But like I said, if you go to chapel, you get a meal ticket.
Yeah.
If you befriend the student chaplain, you get meal tickets from time to time. If you become a student chaplain, then you have a whole stack of it. So, choose your friend. Also, this place is like half the price for staff. So since I work at the counseling center, I claim myself to be a staff whenever I go here, and they've been taking it well. So my favorite part about this place is all the national flags on the ceiling.
Yeah.
So we rotate all these flags as we admit and graduate international students. The idea is if we have a student from a certain country, we're gonna have a flag of that country.
How many dining halls?
Just this one.
Oh,
It's actually way bigger than you can see here. There is a big eating area like at the corner.
Are there like markets and stuff?
Not on campus.
Okay.
There is a French market pretty close from here every Saturday morning. And then I think the closest grocery store from campus is about 2 blocks away. It's like I don't walk there, but you can if you want.
Yeah.
This building here is a student service building, so the bookstore is in here. The careers, they're called CVC. I forgot what it stands for. So if you want to help with your resume and interviews, that's available. Before my Pi Day, so before I meet with all the they came into my class and talked about like these are things you should pay attention to. There is also one graduate program here. It's humanitarian